Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sarah van Grenen, aka Mr. VG, and we are now in exchange rates, one of the most fascinating and amazing and one of the most applicable to real life scenarios you will ever find in mathematics. When we're talking about exchange rates, it basically means if I want to go and travel to another country, let's say I want to go to the US, and I want to take some of my hard-earned money and I want to buy some stuff there. Or you go on eBay or on Amazon and you want to buy stuff in the US. Then we are going to work with exchange rates. Now, a basic exchange rate table looks like this. First of all, there's the value of 1 rand. And this was actually the exchange rates on the 21st of March 2023. That was one day before I recorded this video. If I look at this, on the left-hand side, it basically tells me that 1 rand is worth, if I look at the US dollars, 0.0539 US dollars. So for every 1 rand I have, I'm just going to have just more than 5 cents in the US currency. But the reason why this is actually good for South Africa, not good for us people, but it's good for our country, is that for every 1 US dollar, look on the right-hand side, every 1 US dollar is worth 18 rand and 56 cents. It might not feel really good for you and me as consumers, but it's good for our country because we export so much goods that we need our currency to be relatively weak. Because, and please get this, all of the platinum, the gold, the diamonds are being paid for using US dollars. So if we can export, then it is good. But it's not good the moment we've got to import something. Let's say, for instance, you want to buy the newest iPhone. Are you going to buy it in rand or actually pay for it in US dollars? Actually, you're going to pay for it in US dollars because although you are paying in rands, the company that's selling it on their behalf in South Africa is buying it in US dollars. So they are then, that's why it is so expensive to buy things over the internet, simply because of our weak rand. Now, what affects the value of the rand? Well, there are many things, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a whole big economic discussion. I know some of the things, and I'm not an economics expert, but things like instability in your country affect whether your currency is valued or not. But also in certain countries, actually, some of the countries on purpose keep their currency weak, like the Chinese currency, the yuan. The Chinese yuan is actually very weak, not because the economy is weak or because people don't want to invest there. Remember, they are exporting a lot of their goods, let me rather say that. Therefore, they want their currency to be weak. And it's also cheaper for people to then actually build in that country. Because if you take your US dollars and you convert it to Chinese yuans, then it is going to be worth a lot of Chinese yuan. So you can do a lot with your currency in China. That's why there's a lot of political things involved here. Because the Americans and a lot of the Western countries don't believe in fixing, can we say, your exchange rates. But let's get going on with the actual mathematics. If we look at 1 euro, okay, 1 euro is worth 19 rand and 92 cents. Just for interest's sake, ladies and gentlemen, that is the reason why the Europeans love to come and have holiday in South Africa. When it's cold and it's wintry there in Europe, they say, no. Let's go to Africa. Let's come to South Africa and we have a 3 or 4 months holiday. Well, we can afford it because our currencies are so strong. Interesting, hey? Let's have a look at the basics of working in currencies. So how much is 1,000 Rand worth if 1 Rand is worth 0.0539 US dollars? First of all, let's write it as a ratio. So I've got 1 to 0.053. And if I just times that 1 by 1,000, remember on the left-hand side is the rands, on the right-hand side is the US dollars. That means that 1,000 Rand is worth 53.9 US dollars. I know that a lot of you would have gone and said, but this is so obvious. I could have just times that 0.0539 by 1,000. And that's exactly what we did. But what I would like you to do is to actually give you some mathematical tools so that when the sums become a bit more difficult, that you are actually able to do it. So the alternative is that when we look at that 1,000 Rand, I can actually go and write it as a ratio. 1 over 1,000 is equal to 0.0539 over X, because that's the one I'm looking for. Okay, over X. And there, ladies and gents, I've solved, or I've set up an equation, which I need to now solve. If I look at solving that equation, I'm going to multiply straight through by 1,000x. And on the left-hand side, I've then only got x because the 1,000s cancel out. And on the right-hand side, my x's cancel out, leaving me with exactly the sum which we sat with earlier, that x is 53.90. So 1,000 Rand is equal to 53.90 US dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that what I explained in terms of the economy is a very simplified sum. Okay, it's very, very simplified because foreign exchange can become very tricky and there's a lot of things that plays into the actual value of a currency. So please don't crucify me for, maybe oversimplifying it, but it's just that you have a basic understanding about how the value of currencies work. In our next sum, or our next video, we are going to look at practicing this a little bit more and then making it a bit more difficult. So this is Mr. VG signing out. Keep well. Cheers.